Hey guys, Czar here. Just looking at a potential setup, and I'm going to show it to you and explain it to you, and maybe we'll take it together. This is the NASDAQ 30-minute chart. As you can see, we've had some interesting rejections at resistance and then rejections at support. These are things we see just about every day of the week with Czar zones, which are really just basic support and resistance, no rocket science. People just, my group call it Czar zones for fun, and I'm happy to call them that too if that's more fun for people. Here's what we're looking at. We drove down, big candle, then we had news, drove down, drove back up, drove back down again, and now driving up, or at least finding support here and rejecting a little bit. But now I'm going to take you over to possibly a more important screen. Now that we know what that foundation is, let me take you back for a moment. We know the foundation is that we had this move yesterday all the way down impulse. We've had a nice orderly, fairly orderly retracement of part of that move, and then a drive back down again, and now finding that double, triple bottom, if you will, with this third piece over here. You can put a circle here too. Why don't we just do that to help our brains accept what we're looking at. So now what we know is happening here with this finding of support after a very aggressive drive down, and now a white candle driving up. I'll take you very quickly over here, and I just missed what I wanted to do. But I'm going to do it anyway. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to wait for the slightest little pullback here and enter. If we get a pullback even to here, I will take this trade for a move back to Vwap. Waiting for it now. Just gonna go over to my platform here. Bear with me for a moment. Okay, and yep. Okay, good. 9:31, and there it goes. All right. Going now without me, that's fine. That was the move I was looking for, that break of structure right there. So let me just show it to you as if we were taking. Take off the Vwap. Take off the EMA. And let me show it to you. I'm going to put a vertical line where New York Open is. Right here. Market drove down, market drove up. Lower low, lower high, lower low. News reaction, so I ignore this now. There's the 10 a.m. move, right? And then drive down, so lower low. Make this even easier for you, right? So initial reactions. The first, this is a 1 minute chart, by the way, so this all happened in what I would call my opening range. Drive down, reaction up, drive down, up, down, failure to make a new low, failure to make a new high, failure to make a new low on a closing basis, double top, failure to make a new low, and now a break of structure. This is a fairly textbook break of structure, and it would look like this if you were using support and resistance, failure to break below here. As you can see, this is very much of a range move, right? A contracting pattern, if you will. And then in that final break and close that we saw there. And there'd be nothing wrong with me actually taking that candle there. I just wanted to wait for a pullback instead. And see if we can get in from there. So there's the break and close, pullback. Now if we get that pullback, I'm going to take this thing. We're going to get in it. Here we go. Hopefully get enough of a pullback here. Let me clear out some of these things. Let me give you the Vwap back so you can see we're basically at target, if you will. I'm actually going to target the other side of this thing for a 2-to-1. Risking 1 to make 2. I would need to get in first. Candle closes in 1 second. Yeah, okay, so that's a new candle. Just need a break below this one. But this is a pretty strong move. All right, market order right now, right here. In, okay, in now. Stop below this candle. 401 to 2, risking 1 to make 2. Just like that. Looking for this thing to straddle the VWAP on this move up. And this really, there is some sense and some instinct to this, guys, having been in this game in my 4th decade now, 34, 35 years of active trading. You get a sense for certain things, and this is one of those. I'll very often, when you see me take these VWAP trades, and there's a whole playlist on my YouTube channel, I'll very often target VWAP to get out. And you can see this one clearly. I'm targeting a straddle of the VWAP and the 1 standard deviation. Now my standard deviation, this thing is 1.28, I believe. Let me just double check that. I've settled on 1.28. Those are my custom settings. But you could just, you could use whatever works for you. It's about a concept. It's about structure. And it's about relative proportion, and so on. So now, for your sake, I'm going to put this on pause, so you don't have to sit through the sideways grind, and I'll bring you back. Here we go. Pause. All right, guys, I'm back, and you can see that a number of minutes have passed, and we're just kind of grinding around here, not looking very strong anymore at all. I'm counting on this thing, finding a little bit of support here. When I say counting, I don't have any blind hopium or anything like that, but I've seen this pattern before, and sometimes it will do something interesting. Another trader friend of mine, who's a very good trader, has just taken a short here, and I'm on the other side of that. We'll see if this thing pans out. I'll be back. Pause. I'm pushing up a little bit now. I wouldn't be surprised if we do hit VWAP at the very least. Although right now it's looking toppy, isn't it? We'll see. But I will take you back to our main screen here to show you what's behind all this. And the real crux of the matter is this really aggressive rejection from these zones from yesterday, mid-New York. I'll remind you, if you're new here, by the way, is that these background colors and what they are, this is a 30-minute chart. Before we do that, let me take you back to the wrong one. Boom. So my trader friend just got stopped out of his short position, and that's just an expense for him. No big deal. We all take stops. And now we're still in here in our long, seeking to profit. Now, it might turn out that he was right to be short, given what I'm seeing now in this shift candle, right at or near VWAP. This could be the short that he wanted, but jumped out a little too early potentially. We'll see. Well, what I was explaining is this really aggressive rejection twice from even during and after news. From the zone down here and here. Again, yesterday, mid-New York, a very important part of the day. And then here, the day before that, on early New York, and then again, later, mid to late New York, the same zone. And here we are, earlier New York. Well, mid-New York now, we're 11:01 a.m. And so this is what I'm counting to give us a little bit of support here and momentum. Now we are getting close to this. The top is very, very tight, by the way, guys. And you know, I have no problem with tight stops if I have an intellectual framework around the trade idea that makes sense to me and that I've seen before. That's all. And we're just flipping coins and calling heads with a long-term edge. I do have a long-term edge. I know it. I've proven it over 3.5 decades in what I do. But any single trade can end in a loss, of course, and that's just a routine expense in an ongoing business practice. I'll put you back on pause for now and then bring you back. Here we go. We're still kind of just grinding around here, Okay, fairly close to getting stopped out, but not quite. Still, actually, quite a few points away still. 7 points away. Just kind of meandering around. Put you back on pause for now. Trying to push up here just a tad. And struggling again. Definitely some overhead pressure. Now, I will tell you that it's 11:09. What does that mean? It means that Germany's closed. Germany closed 9 minutes ago. It means only the UK and, of course, North America are open. And the UK closes in, well, 21 minutes, right? In 21 minutes, the UK closes as well. So London, and then we just have then we have lunch for North America. Does that matter? Yeah, it does. Very often we'll get this sideways grind through that period, and things get pretty sluggish and sloppy. What I'm going to do is take out all visual clutter and just look at this from a structural standpoint and ask ourselves some questions. Does this make sense? That makes sense? It does, right? Strong impulse down, base building, shift, impulse up, consolidation, and now, as we speak, breaking above, there's a rejection wick there that it's got to deal with, trying to break up to take another leg up, right? Impulse, corrective, impulse. We're asking for this completion here. Important trade to understand. I'll put you back on pause, bring you back for the climax. Here we go. Finally getting a little bit of movement here, guys. Being patient, very, very patient, as you can see. Now, if you remember, this is an interesting trade because I actually wanted to get in earlier. I wanted to get in here on the break, but was not able to get in, and eventually entered on a market order way up here, so significantly higher than when I wanted to. I mean, 30 points, 29.5, approximately higher than where I wanted to enter, but still took the trade. And some might say, well, that looks kind of like FOMO. Well, it's not really. There's a strategic, once prices have moved and you believe they can still fairly easily move higher, the path of least resistance is in favor of the intellectual framework direction behind your trade. Nothing wrong with taking the trade. You don't have to catch all of the move. You don't have to catch the biggest part of the move. You don't have to capture every move. We only want the most certain move. And there's nothing certain about trading. You'll hear me say that over and over again. But we're looking for the most certain move, given the probabilities and the uncertainty of what trading is all about. And that's why we're in this trade now. I'm going to put Vwap back on there again for you so you can see where we are relative. If you remember, we're looking for kind of like this middle ground between Vwap, the volume-weighted average price of all transactions in this session, and the first standard deviation. Mine's actually 1.28, as discussed a bit earlier. But I'll put you back on pause, and we'll see if we can get this thing to close down. Still here, guys. A lot of time has passed, but this video is only 14 minutes. That's not terrible, I guess. But you can see that I've needed to be very patient with this trade in this sluggish time of the day now. Now we've entered it, right? It's 11:21. 9 minutes to go until the UK stock market shuts down completely. So all the London players, the UK players leave the market. The Germans have already left. It's just the US and Canada, of course, and the North American players, and a few international folks who stick around in the futures market. But it is also coming up on lunchtime. And as I mentioned a bit earlier, that does make a difference. All right. Let's see if we can finish this thing. We could take a 1 hour profit right now. We can just get out of this thing. And a lot of amateur traders would do that. They would say, let me just take my 1 hour and get out. I'm tempted, quite frankly, given the time of day. Let's think of this through, guys, together. Let's think this through together. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Yeah, we're getting a lot of rejection wicks just above Vwap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 by the looks of it, rejection wicks. Let me flip over to the S&P. Yeah, that's already at 128 standard deviation. Dow, also beyond Vwap. DAX, I'm not too concerned about. Well, I'll take a look at it. Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what. My new target is 1R. There it is. I just need to get back. We just need to get back there to 1R, and we'll take this thing out. Because we're now going to go into the sluggish lunch period, and that's not fun at the best of times. So we just need that to push up now and take us out, take me out. While we wait for that, I will take you back momentarily. Well, there we go. Okay, and we're out, guys. Nice 1 hour trade, 22.5 points. That was a good one, right? So we're kind of thinking on our feet here, and taking into consideration the time of the day, time of the session, sluggishness, the fact that there is news coming at 2 p.m. FOMC minutes, and so on and so forth. Great trade. We'll talk soon, guys. I'll let you go, and we will talk either later today if we see any more setups, or tomorrow for the London Open or the New York Open. Talk soon. Take care.